In this video we're gonna talk about pretty interesting movie, Easter Bloody Easter. Hey guys, and I told you before that there were two Easter movies that came out pretty recent. It was Easter Evil, and I talked about it here, and also Easter Bloody Easter, and today in this video I want to talk about it. And also I kind of missed this Catholic Easter holiday, at all because of my work, also because my parents are Orthodox and we're celebrating Easter this year on the 5th of May. Yeah, I don't know what's the deal this year with this big gap. Usually it's like 2 weeks, but okay. So, Easter Bloody Easter. And I told you in the previous video that I didn't like the first movie, and when I was, looking through Easter Bloody Easter, I was like, meh, I don't know, especially because I looked at the bunny and I was like, yeah, I see why people say that the body is like, nah, and the movie maybe is like, nah. But after watching this movie, I was like, okay, I don't feel like I wasted my time on it, because there were a lot of things I liked here, and I'll tell you about those things here. On IMDb it said that it's a horror movie, but I think it's also comedy, and also there is some drama here. When I began to watch this movie, from the first minutes we got the typical scene from typical horror. Horny teenagers, they want to, have a little fun time together. That's when they meet the rabbit. It's cute rabbit, yada yada, and then he turns berserk, and that was hilarious. I was like, okay, this is some kind of comedy, I'm into it, and I'll talk about these bodies a little bit later in this video, because I found it really hilarious. And you know me, I like my comedy horrors because they're light, they're fun. I like sometimes when blood looks like ketchup, and when some horror stuff looks pretty silly, because they distinguish this fantasy world from real stuff, because when they show you real torture, it's difficult, and after this you need some time to process this. I had a problem with watching this movie. Sometimes I was feeling that it was too long. It was like 1 hour and 40 minutes, but I don't even know what parts to cut out of it, because most of them were pretty important, but maybe I was feeling that the movie was kind of long because there were parts that were like comedy and horror, and then the next scene would be drama, and then just horror and drama. And maybe for me this movie wasn't smooth sailing. Some movies you begin to watch and whoa, how 2 hours went, because it was so interesting and engaging. And I'm not saying that this movie wasn't engaging, but yeah, there was some moments that was like, okay, now we're here, and my mind needs to process it a little bit, because I was in my mind space where there was silly horror and comedy stuff. Let's grab Cocaine Bear. That movie was sometimes full of drama, but at the same time it was mostly comedy and horror, and all the drama stuff, they either came in the beginning or after main horror, I don't know, stuff or something like that. There was this problem, but maybe it's just me. My mind is sometimes weird, and it's walking weird. And okay, I'm gonna take it off because it's going everywhere. Now let's talk about a lot of good stuff actually, because I liked the characters. The cast was amazing. I talked with you about the movie Easter Evil, and the actors' work there, it was mad. Actually, in horror movies, sometimes the actors are bad. The acting is pretty meh, but here even some small roles, they were played good. I really liked the main character, Jenny. She was really something. She was acting acting really good. The actress was really good. I liked her. And from the first moments you was kinda drawn to her because she had a drama in her life. She lost her husband. Well, not lost, but her husband left her. She was depressed because of it, and she was trying to find him. And you had a soft spot for her. And also she was kind of sassy sometimes, and she was real. She was funny and she was brave sometimes. Like the final scene was like, whoa, 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 you're something. And yeah, she was real. So main story is we have this main character Jenny, who lost her husband Lance in a small town where people begin to die suddenly, brutally, and it seems like no one really cares about it. Like, yeah, that's wild animals in the attic of a church. Of course, of course, of course. And you know, I think this movie is kind of like those trashy B-rated movies everyone likes to talk shit about, but you know me, I like my trashy horror movies sometimes. And even if maybe technically this movie can be described as being trashy, bad, B-rated, etc., at the same time there were a lot of details here. Like actors' work, very good. Also I liked a lot of backgrounds. The first scene when we see Jenny, it's really interesting. I like the pants that were on the wall. They were really cute. I also like the decorations, background decor in the scene when they went to the church and it was a crime scene. The decorations were so good. The scene looked really good. It looked aesthetically pleasing. Also I liked some dresses and some outfits of some characters. For example, I really liked the nightgown, I think, that Jenny wore when she was in her nightmare. It was really beautiful, especially when we saw her from the back. It was really beautiful. All the details there was really beautiful. And also I like the moment when they came to this party, Easterpalooza, dressed as Charlie Angels or something like that. 3 badass girls. I like that. And the dress on Jenny was really something. It was really beautiful. So you know, it was nice. Shorts were nice. Even that scene with the big footsteps of this giant rabbit was shot aesthetically pleasing. It was looking good. Like, there are some bad movies when you watch it and you don't believe a thing that's happening on the screen. No, here you really believed in the characters and in this place they were living, and also the scene in the church was shot based on a lot of rules in cinematography, and that was good. I really appreciate it. And when I watched on IMDb in Google, it was said that the rating is 4.8, and I was like, yeah, that definitely is deserved, especially because some of the movies I liked and think they're good, they're 6.4 or something like that, like Jet Boy. I really like the movie Jet Boy, but when I watched the rating I was like, okay, yeah, I know there weren't some extraordinary things there, but it was a nice movie. So when I went on IMDb and I saw that the rating for Easter Bloody Easter was like 3.3, I was like, there are a lot of worse movies than this one. I guess I just don't understand anything in cinematography, etc. I liked it. I don't care what anyone thinks. And as I was saying about the characters, I kind of hate when in horrors they give us good characters. Also, maybe because of my previous work, I kind of forgot what horror movies are about and why I hate them so much. Sometimes because you cannot fall in love with any characters from horror movies. And that was why I was kind of pissed here. I logically get that you shouldn't get attached to any characters in horrors, but they began to describe us some characters and they began to show us them and talk about some of their quirks, etc., little funny details about them, and then yeah, here you go. And I was like, why once again? So, about characters. As I said before, there were a lot of good characters and I would go through some of them. Also, yeah, there were some stereotypical characters, but they're shown pretty good. Can we also talk a little bit about Jenny? Because she was really badass and I liked her dresses. I liked her red and black dress in the ending. And also her flash, it kind of fit that outfit also, and she can sing. That was a nice detail. Also, she has a friend, Carol, who has a cute Asian husband, and also they have a bunch of kids that are real troublemakers. They were fine, they were okay. The husband was kind of cute, and also Carol. I like them. Also, there was Lance, the husband of our Jenny, and he also was kind of cute. About stereotypical characters, there was a sheriff there. He was like typical man who's like, yeah, I know everything and I know that your husband not just disappeared. He was in hit and run and he ran away and hit someone, etc, etc, etc. You know, those characters that kind of annoys you, but I often say that if some character really annoys you, it also kind of good. The worst thing in the movies when you have no feelings towards the character. That's why sometimes you don't even care that some characters die because you just don't care about them. And also we have a pastor and his whole thing was that he was coughing like he was dying or something. It was fine, it was silly but kind of funny. Also we had Sam, and as Jane described him after he was a gift to Conspiracy World, he was going with this foil hat, oh I know who did it, etc. But at the same time he was right, and he kind of reminded me about that guy from The Man Who Collected Food movie. There were also a guy there who was like, I see aliens everywhere. I don't know, he kind of reminded me about that character, but Sam was fine. Also we had Mayor Lou, and he was, you know, as Carol described him, yeah.
Selfish prick.
And we had Mary Lou, and her character was like typical ideal girl from small place, living ideal life. She has this Eugene husband that she doesn't really like, but at the same time she needed to be perfect or something like that. And also she has a dog, Pookie, and I found it kind of funny when I began to make a script about this movie because Pookie, and I said it out loud and I was like, oh, okay, so in Russian Pookie is like farts, and I was like, okay, that's why I like sometimes different languages. We had a laugh with the Chinese, I think, because some of the words translate not very child appropriate. But I guess it's life, it's what it is. On Japanese, sukida, like I like, and in Russian it's like a witch with B in the beginning. And Mary Lou was trying to organize this big Easter celebration, Easterpalooza. Also we had Batanda feel, and I was like, hey, he's cute. I kind of like Batandas in some stuff. I really like Batandas in yaoi manga when I was often reading it because they were interesting. They knew a lot of stuff here and there. There was a manga, I think, about Batanda who always tried to match people. It was cute. Yaoi manga has a lot of problems, but at the same time, basic basic concepts, plots, when we get high-rated stuff out of here. Some stories are pretty cute. Also, we have Sally. I kind of thought that she had a crush on Mary Lou because of that one scene, and that's another problem with me. I can't just watch movies sometimes. I need to ship someone with someone. But after some time I realized that Sally was not really into Mary Lou. I think she was just desperate. Also, we had Megan, a previous pageant queen, and her dad. Her dad was really cute. There were some jokes about him and some cute moments. And as I said, there were stereotypical characters like Sheriff, Mayor, Lou, because some guys with power, they do some questionable things because we have power, etc. And yeah, Mary Lou's stereotypical ideal girl, but also in this movie there were some stereotypical LGBT characters. Like I said, Megan's dad, he was kind of stereotypical. Also, there was a gay guy, I think, in Mary Lou's surroundings, but at the same time they were kind of okay. Also, there was one more character, the drag queen, that the church decided to invite to their celebration, Easterpalooza, and I found that moment kind of weird. Maybe it's because I'm from another country, and in my country I always had a problem with religion because I don't want to go anywhere where I can't even sit in front of the guys because we're trying to seduce them or something like that, and I need to wear a skirt and to cover my head because I'm a woman, a sinner, etc, etc. And just the thing that you are born on this planet as a girl and you're already a sinner because Eve, etc, etc, etc. At my place, same-sex relationships are still a sin. So, drag queen twerking with church members and people who go there only, I think that it's kind of weird. I just thought that it's typical Catholic church. Maybe the churches are more progressive now. Maybe. So, we talked about the characters, now let's talk about humor in this movie. I didn't like the humor in Easter Evil movie, but here I liked it. Some of the things were pretty funny.
A bloodied male corpse is the central theme of every Easter. It's very on brand.
Though maybe there were a little bit too much sexual jokes for me. They were not that annoying and into your face, but they were there. And also there were a few jokes you can technically call sexual. For me, they were kind of dumb. Rabbits attacked one woman from both sides of her breast. One of the rabbit attacked male genitalia. You know, hello movie Piranha 3D. Yeah, this type of stuff. I just don't get it. My opinion, I think it's dumb. And now let's talk about her. I don't really know how I feel about the bunny costume. I liked when he was partly shown to us in the beginning. That shot was really cool and interesting. There is something mystical about it when you can only partially see some evil character. And also it was kind of interesting when we saw our rabbit only in the window walking by. And in the end, when I first watched through the movie, I was like, it looks cheap, but when I watched it at the end, I think I like the costume the most, because when his eyes lightened up, it looked pretty unnatural. But at the end, I was like, yeah, why not, especially because it's a comedy. He was going from a really scary voice to the real character's voice. I thought it was kind of interesting. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this book. In the beginning, almost in the beginning, in the first part of the movie, they found the book about this lady Agnes. Also, am I the only one, or I think I watched something before where some spirits or some evil lady was also named Agnes. I think it's kind of popular name in horror movies. Maybe. But I can be wrong. So I thought the story was pretty okay. It was because of her. She was a witch. Only maybe I would have liked more if they showed us a little bit more of flashbacks, because they told us the story of this Agnes and then they showed us a few seconds of flashbacks and it wasn't really anything happening there. I thought maybe it would be more of Agnes, etc. I just thought if you bought all those costumes, maybe it would be logical to film more, but okay, I'm not really picky. Also, even the character there from flashback, he had like a few lines and he said them really good. And about this huge rabbit, Jacalope, I actually just found out about Jacalopes and you wanted my vocabulary. Only I have two questions with this part of information. First question is, so the character that then turned into Jacalope, he beat the mask or what? And the second question is with the ending. So it's not the only reason how you can be maybe a Vic. Okay, I have a question with ending, but I think it would be left unanswered forever and ever and ever. Now, I want to talk about Rabbit Army. I found them absolutely hilarious. I like the idea because bunnies often these cute, small, fluffy creatures you want to pet, etc. And in this movie they had this evil mode. So 1 second they're, oh, they're so cute, and the next they're, ha, we're gonna attack you. And I found it hilarious. I like this idea. It was fun to watch, and also I really like that they used real animals, and then in the horror state they changed the real animals to stuffed animals because people were killing them, kicking them, etc. Because we saw that they were like definitely not real. It was more like a comedy and light-hearted. Sorry, my camera decided.
You talk too much. Stop it.
Already. We saw that rabbits weren't real. It looked really fake when someone was trying to kill them. I said in Easter Evil, it was so obvious. It wasn't even funny when the knife was going somewhere but not in the rabbit evil killer. And then in the next scene the blood was everywhere. But here I like this, that they use stuffed animals because I don't really like torture, animal torture also, nah, not my thing. I liked what they did there. It was okay for me. You did good. We understood that they were killing these rabbits. Yeah, they were fake, we're seeing they're fake, but at the same time it was the right decision. Now I want to talk about the music, and the music is good. I liked when our main character Jenny, she sang a song and people around her sang along. It was really cute. Yeah, the voice wasn't like phenomenal, but it was heartwarming, it was cute moment, and I like that scene. It was more about the message, I think. Also, I liked the moment when it was a choir there, a small band of townspeople. They sounded really good. The sound was cute, and I like that. Also, there was a band there, Carrot Cake. The music also was pretty nice. It sounded great, ear-pleasing. The sound in the credits was okay, but I really like the song by Ellie Bext, Monster. It was something. I really like this song. I found it on YouTube. I'm listening to it on repeat. Let's talk about drama. There was a moment where they really badly combined horror and drama. Lance finally, Lancelot, Lance finally, he came to Jenny. A really dramatic moment. They were showing to us through the words why he left Jenny, etc, etc, etc. And at the same time there was a killing scene in kind of comedy horror style. It was the stupidest thing ever. We needed to focus on dramatic parts, but and this character is dying, la 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 la, kind of in no you won't get me or something like that way, then you immediately get back to the drama. How could you do this, etc. And you're like, why? It was a cheap drama. Type of drama when in movies they say, I'm really angry at you, but they're not showing that the character's angry. It was here the same type of drama. And I don't know why they did it, because no, that was bad for me here, because other things were like, yeah, I'm just, you know, enjoying the film, etc. But that moment I was like, what the heck? Because if you focus on the drama, you should focus on the drama. And now let's talk about really good representation of drama here. The song Monster by Ellie Bex. The scene was really incredible. Jenny, she's dealing with this loss of her husband. She doesn't know where he is and what has happened to him. From time to time she has some nightmares and she wakes up at the ground. It kind of reminded me about that scene from Summer Songs when our main character woke up and that guy who called him Princess Sam grabbed him, because the main character woke up in front of a deer corpse. Here the experience wasn't that traumatic, but at the same time she has some blackouts. She thinks that she might be this weird Jacalope, maybe it's her. This all happening around, it's just her fault. She looks in the mirror and this whole song is about monster, and she's seeing herself as a monster with these growing antlers. And also interesting detail, because I don't know about English people, but among Russian-speaking people and the people who were out of USSR, we have this thing, this joke about husbands having antlers, where the woman cheated, and it was kind of interesting because she had these antlers. Maybe, I'm not saying she has, but maybe, because she also cheated. She's thinking maybe she's this Jacalope, and this scene was really emotional. That's how you show a real good drama. And that moment was like, what the heck with Lance, like what the heck was that? And also the nightmare about Lance, it was so cool with this Easter basket. I really liked her nightmares. It was interesting. It wasn't scary, but it was interestingly shot. And also with these baskets, I kind of liked them in some parts in the beginning, and I liked the basket with Lance, but the baskets that were at the ending, they were shot usual, and I don't know, maybe the whole mystery was lost because of it. We talked about the music. What is that? Now let's talk about finally the ending. It was kind of predictable who was this Jacalope creature, especially when the other characters began to die and you were like, well, there's not a lot of options left. As I said before, I liked a lot of characters because they had some small silly details about them. You kind of getting used to them through the movie. Then the final epic scene. There were a lot of people killed there and I didn't like it. It's not the fault of the movie, right? But why you told us more about the character? Like, I couldn't care less about some of them that we just met and then yeah. But some of the characters that were kind of interesting, I had some little quirks about them and then yeah, and I was like, why? And also, of course, I didn't like in the Easter Evil, but it was like the last thing I didn't like about it. I don't like the ending of the movies that are like the end. the end! In Easter Evil, the ending was like that. In here, I would have liked the movie more if the ending was pretty simple. The evil is dead, and that's it. But the way they decided to continue it was pretty weird. I didn't quite get the way this character could catch something, let's say it like that. Why this character, just why. I thought it was like a silly thing. I thought maybe there would be some after credits thing, but no, and the ending was like meh. But you know, the whole movie, it was like 4-5 out of 10. It was okayish. I wasn't feeling like I wasted my time on it. I found some interesting characters. I found a really nice song. Every time I find a good song in horror movies, I'm like, thank you. It happens from time to time and I'm really happy about it. So yeah, it was Easter Bloody Easter. Tell me guys, what do you think about it? Have you watched it? Would you like to watch it? And maybe how was your Easter? Because in our country we don't really celebrate it. We just bake some stuff and color eggs and fight with eggs whose egg would be invincible or something like that. So every time I see people putting some Easter baskets, kids trying to find some eggs at the background, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. Even if you're not a religious person, it's just fun. And that was all for today, guys. Bye! And yeah, if you have any suggestions for future videos, write it down in the comments. Bye!